What's up, guys? It is week 3, video 3, and part 3 of the book Stoker. This past section was all about chapters 8, 9, and 10, and I titled this part, Proper Prior Planning Prevents Poor Performance. Now, I know these chapters were specifically geared towards student ministries, and hopefully as you were reading them, you were trying to apply them to your own areas of life. And the reality is there's 3 things that are needed in order to properly plan and prevent poor performance. It's the atmosphere that we create, it's the strategies that we implement, and it's the necessities that are needed to implement and the strategies and to create the atmosphere that we want to in our everyday lives, not only in our family, but in our own life and in our workplaces. And so the first part was all about the atmosphere that you create. I use this illustration from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's one of my favorite illustrations, and it's my favorite thing that Dr. Martin Luther King even talked about. And he ties this comparison of a thermostat versus a thermometer. A thermometer only tells you what the temperature is, but the thermostat dictates the temperature in any given room. And I love this comparison because as believers, we should be the thermostats in every room that we go into. We get to create the atmosphere. We should bring the differing atmosphere. Again, we talked about it in the last video, is we should bring joy and peace into every room we walk into, because we are literally bringing heaven into those rooms. And so I really want to encourage you and challenge you around this idea of what kind of atmosphere are you creating in your homes? What kind of atmosphere are you creating in your workplaces? Are you a thermometer? And how can you change that to become a thermostat in every area of your life? Chapter 9 was looking at the strategies that we need to implement to help create the proper atmosphere that we want to create. And the reality is people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. They fail to plan around their giving. That's why they're not generous. They fail to plan around their parenting. That's why their kids are acting a fool. They fail to plan for retirement. So when they get to retirement, they didn't have what they needed or what they wanted. People fail to plan in their marriage. So that's why their marriage is falling apart. And people fail to plan in their career. And so 20 years after working a job, they're not satisfied with where they're at. Because the reality is you have to plan. And I encourage you to plan. And wherever it is that you want to be in your life in the next 10, 20, 30 years requires a plan. Yes, God comes in and can change those plans around, but He can't change your plans if you don't have any plans to begin with. And so we have to implement strategies in our lives to get to the places that we want to get to in our lives. I've heard one person say it this way. It says, if you don't know where you're going, anywhere will get you there. And so we must be constantly pursuing a strategy and putting a plan into place. The next part was all about the necessities that are needed to be successful in wherever we are and whatever we want to do. And the 3 things that we really need to focus on in this chapter are provision, partnership, and patience. And I know we don't like to really talk about some of these things, but the reality is provision often happens through the partnerships that we have. One person always said it like this. They said, I would rather partner with people than pioneer, or it's easier to partner with people than to pioneer. And that truth is so important because our plans cost time and money and resources, but it doesn't cost as much when we partner with people. And so it's not so much about pioneering, it's about partnering. And I really encourage us in whatever dreams that you have or the things that you want to accomplish with your life, you can't go very far without partnering with people. And as you pursue your dreams, you have to understand that life is a process. Everything that we do in life is a process. I like to use the illustration of an alphabet. You can't skip letters. You know, we don't expect you to get to letter M without first getting to the letter that's before M. That's embarrassing. We can't expect to get to the letter P without first getting to the letter O. You can't just start at A and get to Z overnight. That's not how process works. That's not how life works. It's not about getting you to the end goal. It's about helping you take that next step. It's about helping you continue to look forward and to move forward instead of moving backwards. And so as you are about to dive into some discussion questions, I really want you to be thinking about the atmosphere that you create, the strategies that you have in place for your life, and the things that you will need to accomplish those goals that you have for yourself. Again, I hope maybe you begin to have these conversations and answer these questions. And who knows, maybe some of the people in the very room that you're at right now will be the people that you need to partner with to take your dreams and your visions and your goals to the next level.